Welcome back to the Book Review Podcast, everybody. Today, we've got a real treat, a book that delves into this fascinating world of, well, why we do what we do.
Absolutely, and how we can kind of hack our habits to make them work for us instead of, against us.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like becoming the masters of our own actions and, reaping those sweet, sweet rewards of positive change.
It really is. It's self-improvement, but it goes deeper into the psychology of behavior.
Uh-huh.
It's not just about setting big goals, but understanding these subtle forces that shape us every single day, our habits.
Totally, like those tiny little things we do without even thinking that actually end up having a massive impact in the long run.
Exactly. And, speaking of habits, that's really the core of what we're going to be diving into today with this book. How do they form? Why are they so hard to break sometimes? And most importantly, how can we actually harness them for good?
Like put them on a leash.
Yeah.
So I guess the best place to start would be to kind of lay out some of the key ideas from the book that really stood out to us.
Yeah, sounds good. What really grabbed me was the book's emphasis on this idea of small changes, like tiny incremental improvements.
Oh, yeah, the 1% better philosophy.
Right, exactly. And initially you might think, well, what difference can 1% really make? But when you see the way those small gains compound over time, honestly, it's mind-blowing.
It's like compound interest, but for personal growth.
Yeah.
A tiny little shift each day consistently applied, and boom, before you know it, you've made this huge leap forward.
Right. And it really challenges this notion that change has to be this big, dramatic, overnight thing.
Ripping off the Band-Aid all at once.
Exactly. And that's often why people fail. They try to do too much too soon. This book is all about sustainability, those small tweaks you can actually stick with.
Absolutely. And it's not just about those individual actions either. It's about the systems we build around them. That was a huge aha moment for me.
Me too. It's so easy to get caught up in setting these big, ambitious goals right. But the book makes a really strong case for focusing on systems instead. The daily routines, the practices that naturally lead you towards those goals.
Like building a staircase instead of just staring at the top of the mountain.
Precisely. It's about the daily doing, not just the distant outcome.
So speaking of daily doing, the book lays out what it calls the 4 laws of behavior change. These are like the fundamental principles governing how our habits form and how they stick.
Yeah, and I think these are so crucial to understanding how we can actually take control.
Totally. So the first law is all about making the habit obvious.
So what this means is creating really clear cues in your environment that trigger the behavior you want.
Like setting yourself up for success by making the good choice the easiest choice.
Exactly. If you want to start drinking more water, for example.
Keeping a full glass on your desk all the time.
Right. Exactly. Or let's say you want to read more. Put a book on your pillow every morning so it's the first thing you see when you wake up. It's about designing your surroundings to support your desired actions.
Love that. Okay, so law number 2 is making the habit attractive.
This taps into our motivations, our desires, right? The more appealing something is, the more likely we are to do it and stick with it.
The book talks about temptation bundling, which is this genius idea. Have you heard of this?
Oh, yeah, it's so clever. It's like pairing something you want to do with something you need to do. Like, let's say you love watching Netflix.
Yeah, a person after my own heart.
But you also know you should be exercising more. Well, why not combine the two? Only allow yourself to watch your favorite show while you're on the treadmill.
Oh, that's so good.
Right. You're basically hijacking your brain's reward system and using it to your advantage.
Love it. All right, law number 3 is to make it easy.
So this is all about reducing friction.
Making the desired behavior as effortless as possible, yeah.
The 2-minute rule is a great example here.
Oh, yeah, I love that one.
Scale down that new habit to something that takes less than 2 minutes to start.
So instead of saying, I'm going to work out for an hour, I'm going to do 5 push-ups, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that small commitment can often snowball into something much bigger.
It's like tricking your brain into getting started. And once you're in motion, it's much easier to keep going.
And finally, the 4th law, make the habit satisfying.
Oh, this is a good one. We're wired to repeat behaviors that make us feel good, right? So how do we tap into that?
Well, the book talks about habit tracking, which is a simple but effective technique. It's about visually seeing your progress.
Like marking off each day on a calendar.
Right, which gives you this sense of accomplishment and keeps you motivated.
And there's something about those little check marks or those filled-in squares that just feel so good, yeah.
It taps into our desire for consistency and progress. And speaking of consistency, the book goes even deeper than these 4 laws. And it explores this really crucial role of identity in habit formation.
Oh, this is where it gets really interesting.
It's not just about the actions themselves, but about who you believe yourself to be at your core.
So it's like a shift from I want to lose weight to I am a healthy person.
Exactly. And that fundamental shift in identity reinforces the behaviors that align with that self-image.
It's like each action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become.
And that can be so powerful for lasting change. Because it's not about white-knuckling it through willpower alone.
It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally does the things you want to do.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how do I actually put this into practice? Well, the good news is the book is packed with practical strategies for breaking bad habits and cultivating good ones.
So let's dive into some of those tactics.
One of the most effective strategies for breaking a bad habit is to make the cues invisible. If you're trying to cut back on social media, for example.
Delete those apps from your phone. Yeah.
Exactly. Out of sight, out of mind. Or let's say you're trying to eat healthier. Don't keep junk food in the house. Make it harder for yourself to indulge in those unhealthy behaviors.
And on the flip side, make good habits as easy as possible.
Right. Like we talked about with the 2-minute rule. Another great technique is habit stacking.
Which is basically attaching a new habit to an existing one.
Exactly. So if you always brush your teeth in the morning, stack a new habit on top of that, like doing 10 squats right after.
It's like piggybacking on a routine you already have.
And it makes it way more likely that you'll actually do it because it's become part of this automatic sequence.
The book also talks about the power of accountability.
Oh, yeah. Having a friend or a coach who knows your goals and checks in with you can make a huge difference.
Or even just telling someone about your intentions.
That's right, because now there's this external pressure to follow through.
You don't want to let them down or feel like you're not living up to your word.
It's like having a cheerleader in your corner rooting for you.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of really cool stuff here, but ultimately it all comes down to this isn't it. We have the power to design our lives in a way that supports our desired habits.
Absolutely. We can consciously shape our environments and routines to make the good stuff easier and the bad stuff harder. It's not about relying on willpower alone, which we all know can be pretty unreliable.
It's about working with our brains, understanding how they work and what motivates us.
Right, and being patient with ourselves. The book talks about this concept called the plateau of latent potential, which I found really reassuring.
Yeah, what's that all about?
Well, it's this idea that sometimes you might feel like you're putting in the effort, but not seeing any immediate results.
Like you're stuck spinning your wheels.
Exactly. But the book reminds us that progress is often happening beneath the surface. Those benefits are accumulating. You just can't see them yet.
So it's like planting a seed. It takes time for it to sprout and grow.
Right, and that can be tough in our instant gratification society. But understanding that progress isn't always linear can help us stay the course, even when we don't feel like we're moving forward.
So to wrap things up, what are some of the key takeaways you hope listeners will walk away with from this deep dive?
Well, I think the biggest one for me is that small changes really can make a huge difference over time. It's about being consistent, showing up day after day, and letting those tiny improvements compound.
Absolutely. And remembering that it's not just about goals, it's about building systems, those daily routines and practices that set us up for success.
And that our identity plays a fundamental role in habit formation. Who we believe we are shapes the actions we take. So it's important to cultivate a self-image that supports the habits we want to build.
I love that. So as we always like to say here on the Book Review Podcast, if you enjoyed this deep dive, we encourage you to check out the book for yourself and really explore these ideas in depth.
And if you know someone who might benefit from this conversation, please share it with them. The more we understand about the science of habits, the better equipped we are to create positive change in our own lives and the lives of others.
We always love hearing from you guys too. So if you have any thoughts or questions, or you want to share what habits you're currently working on, head over to our social media pages or leave a comment below.
And until next time, happy reading and happy habit building.
Now, here's a little something to think about. If our habits truly are the compound interest of self-improvement, what small but consistent investment are you going to make in yourself starting today?